So Danielle, as we wrap up, I'm going to do a quick fire round. So I'm going to say a sentence and then I want you to finish it. Welcome, ladies, to Spotlight Voices. My name's Natalia Nicholson and I am your host. I am coming to you, it's not even weekly, it's probably daily at this point, with all the keynote speakers from the top 100 most powerful Black Women's Summit, March 2026. We are coming to you this March, International Women's Month, the 23rd of March, the 27th of March. That is 5 days. Every day, there's going to be 20 masterclasses coming to you every single day. So whether that's a masterclass, a fireside chat, a round table, you are going to get content that's going to uplift you, motivate you, and educate you. If you are a Black female entrepreneur, you are going to find topics from health, from wellness, to digitalization, to trauma, to finance, to wealth, you name it. You're going to find anything that you are struggling with within your journey, personally and professionally. You will find somebody in your own image that's going to talk on it. So watch out. So let's get to it. Who's our feature today? Who is our keynote today? I have got with me the wonderful Danielle, and I'm so excited to have her here with me. She is just like a sage. She's just like this, what's the oracle? That's what I like to call her. I couldn't think of the name. She's literally like the oracle. And you're going to learn a lot about yourself and your bodies as a Black woman. Danielle, please do introduce yourself to the stage and just let everybody know who you are and what you do.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me, Natalia. It's awesome to be here and having this space as well to talk about things specific to us as Black and brown women. I am Danielle Izaak-Lewis. I am a holistic nutrition consultant and trauma-informed health coach, but more so leaning towards the consulting part than anything else. And what I do is I specifically help Black and brown women to understand what is happening on the physiological side of their body, what's causing them to have these constraints that's preventing them from being able to feel as they do the wellness, the things of wellness, feel it, get the results that they're looking for, and essentially recalibrate those systems and processes so that they're actually able to show up being their best selves in whatever capacity that they're doing.
I absolutely love it. And I just think that this is really important, ladies. I'm at an age and stage in life where I get a twinge, or I'm aware that, okay, you know, I'm getting to that half a century, which sounds really daunting when you even think about it like that. As I'm approaching my 50s, I do. Sometimes I get a fuzzy feeling in my breast, and, you know, something will go ahead in my mind, or something will happen with my stomach, or just the way that I'm recovering from things. And I'm sure it's not just me. And if that is the case, put it in the comments. But it does go in the back of my head. You know what, Nat? You need to be looking after your body better. You need to be treating yourself better. We're all intelligent women. We know without your health, you've got absolutely nothing. Absolutely. And I urge you to make sure that this is one of the keynotes that you do listen to, because even since meeting Danielle, I've learned so much about my own body and just kind of understanding how to get to know it more. And even then, I just don't think this is a topic we take as seriously as we should. Sometimes in this entrepreneurial life, you can be chasing the money and the success so much that you forget about yourself.
Yeah.
And we talk about burnout, we talk about, you know, self-love, self-care, but we're not really talking about what nourishments does the body actually need, does our body need, because we're really different. Right. So thank you for that introduction, Danielle. So my first question to you is, when people hear your name, what do you want them to associate it with?
Oh, that's a really good question.
It's funny. Everybody says that, by the way.
I would honestly say when they hear my name, I want them to think of change, activism, and being bodacious with regards to understanding what it is for themselves versus everybody else.
I absolutely love that. And what is the work, would you say, that you're most proud of right now? Because you've done a lot of work. You've done a lot of research. You've done a lot of work.
I think, in all honesty, when I really sat down, and it's funny you're asking this, because I sat down and did this the other day, and I was like, what is that? What is this zone of genius that I'm working in? What's the word I want to use to describe it? And when I really sat down and thought about it, it's really just understanding the invisible and making it visible for somebody else. A lot of times that's what we're missing. It's not that we don't know. We just need someone to translate some of the things that we're not seeing and understanding as visible. And that's really what that is for me, to be honest. That's the crux of it. with all the things that I've been doing is just bring out what is the language and the nuances just to help us as Black women to understand our bodies better and make those things that are happening on the inside visible to us. So we can see it. It makes sense. And we're not feeling like we're being gaslit. We're not feeling like, no one understands what we're going through. We're not feeling like this person's not understanding what I'm saying to them, but I know what I'm experiencing in my body. It's being able to translate that and give that space. Yep. And here's the data that actually lines up and backs up with what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally get that, because when we don't understand things, we tend to run away from them. And I think, especially when it comes to our bodies, because we have got a lack of understanding, it's just easier to ignore it and brush it under the carpet. So I think when you're talking about language, I think that's really important, because one of the great things about you, you've got a way of simplifying things. What you do in terms of the data, the scientific things that are behind it, it's complicated. So having the ability to have someone to break it down into simplistic terms that you can understand is huge.
Yes.
Absolutely huge.
Yes.
So
and
my next question
is that,
sorry, I didn't mean to speak over you. I think there was a slight delay.
Yep, it was, but that's okay. Go ahead.
No. So our next question is, what is the moment that really shaped the woman that you are today as a leader?
The moment that really shaped it was, I think COVID was a big thing for a lot of us. In that space of COVID, I think that was the crux for me, where I realized whatever this space I'm in, I don't like it. I'm unhappy. This is not the life that I desired and I wanted. And I have got to change things. And it wasn't necessarily the change was external stuff. It was internal more than anything else. That change, I was a couple of things, including changing my therapist and getting into the space of understanding what trauma did for me and how I looked at things and how I processed information and how I showed up in the world, as an example. Because there's so many new with regards to trauma, it's crazy. But that's a whole nother story. But just understanding what that looked like for me as being someone who immigrated from the Caribbean and moving to different countries and living in different countries, as an example. But COVID was really that space of something's got to change and something's got to be different. And what does that look like? And figuring out those pieces, because it's a journey. There's nothing that's going to give you the answer and the book of what it is for you. You got to go through this. It was just going through the different things of figuring out what that looked like for me and what I wanted it to be. And then being diligent with, I've got my blinders on. Like, this is what it is. I'm not going to get distracted with everything else. I'm doing the work to get to the position and the place that I want to be as a person showing up in the world. So, yeah.
Yeah, I get that. That's powerful as well, which actually is a really nice segue into my next question. And when you hear most powerful Black women, like, what does that actually mean to you?
Honestly, considering if I take it from a context of society, culture, patriarchy, and all the things, the fact that we're having this space to just have the conversations that we need to have and see someone doing in this space and talking about the things and contradicting things that we are accustomed to, what we've been conditioned by, what we've been told is the norm, and just saying that's not the case. We're not whitewashing. We're not accepting the status quo. We're not doing the things of what has been taught to us as being the norm and we should be dealing with, the struggle, the hustle, all this stuff. You got to work twice as hard. Like, we're changing the narratives for things that we have been taught and conditioned to accept and have to deal with. It is like, no, we're either making our own table, we're making our own chairs, and this is the space that we're creating that and having those conversations. I'm not asking to be at the table anymore. That table was never built for the first place. I'm going to make my own table. I'm going to make my own chair and also make the space to be in that. And that's what this is to me. Beginning to have those conversations, which are difficult but necessary for us to begin to grow and the next generations to come.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. That sent chills down me. There's so many things that we're powerful at. And I think you're right. The power is us being able to take back our power is actually what the power is.
Yes.
And I think it's really funny. Ownership. I was even trying to say it to my children. I was trying to explain to them, ownership is owning your home. It's not owning a car that's a depreciating asset. Because it's really funny, as a Black community, it's easier for all of us worldwide to get a car finance loan than we can get a mortgage for a house. So it's about taking our power back. And I think this Black History Month, one of the things that I've really been focusing on is Black Wall Street. So I've actually been rereading the Black Wall Street book. Anybody, if you haven't got it, go and get it. Ohio, it was a self-sufficient state. It had Black banks. It had a whole Black ecosystem until they burned it down. And I feel like as well, the power comes with us. You're right. Building our own tables, the chairs, the nuts, the bolts, and just taking that back. And as women, we just do it so great. So again, leads me on to my next question really nicely. Thank you, Danielle. What does ownership look like in your world right now?
Ooh. Ownership is, first and foremost, understanding is in the realm of my responsibility as the individual, starting there. Because if I don't take care of what it is for me, and if you think about it from the Proverbs 31 woman, I know there's a lots of context or translation as to what we think about that, but it really starts, how do I, the individual, can do the things with regards to myself before I even get into the space of husband, children, job, business, whatever it is. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have what you need for yourself, then how can you give it outside? So to me, ownership is about starting with what's in my realm of responsibility, get into all the hats. And we all know that brown women, we wear tons of hats on a regular basis. It just is. We understand that that's a nuance considering the systems and society that we live in. But also, I want us to change the narrative that yes, even though you're wearing all the hats, the ownership starts with you. How do you take care of you? How do you nourish yourself? How do you sleep well? How do you move your body on a regular basis? You're continually showing up optimally and not in a depleted state, because then that's now we're talking about burnout and all the other things. So to me, that's what ownership is for me, is what is my circle of responsibility for self first before I get into the context of all the hats I gotta wear. Because again, you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't.
And that's so powerful, because I asked that question to all the keynotes, and that's a really interesting reply. Any of you, make sure you plug into all the episodes, because again, it's going back to the narrative of how we started. If you can't have ownership within yourself, if you can't look after what's in yourself first, you can't look after absolutely nothing else. And the thing is, Danielle, we know this stuff. We know it, but for some strange unknown reason, we seem to want to defy the laws. And a lot of that is to do with the system. There's other things that deem to be more important until you're in that situation where you're faced with a huge health scare, or, death knocks on your door for the first time. A lot of people, it's when death knocks on your door is when you start looking internally. But I love that for ownership, by the way, because we think of it, even I was talking about it, we think of it as physical things. Like just having ownership of your own body.
A lot of it is intangible.
Yeah. We always think about something tangible. So I really, really love that. You're just doing a great job of making a segue to all my next questions, by the way. What is the one narrative about Black women you are committed to changing through your work?
Taking that strong woman narrative off the table. I want us to be able to, in this space of wellness, to understand that softness we deserve, pleasure we deserve, play and fun we deserve. It doesn't always have to be hard, always have to be struggle and the work ethic, and again, nothing wrong with those things. They're great and they have their space. But what, because if you really look at the history for those who are descendants of slaves, where have we seen that as a norm? That we can be in the space of luxury, care, nourishment. I want us to actually be in that space where we can show through how we take care of ourselves and what that wellness looks like, that the success that we have is because wellness was at the center of it. Because we haven't seen that be the example for our foremothers. We're always caretaking, taking care of everybody else. Everything for everybody else comes before us. That strong woman narrative, I want it gone. because it is killing us, literally killing us, literally.
Okay, interesting fact here. Okay, we are halfway through the interviews, and do you know, as Black women, we've all answered that same question the same way. It's really weird. And I'll tell you why it's weird, because we don't follow it, but we've all answered the question the same. So anybody that's listening to this and you keep hearing this same message, there's a reason for it. It's time to drop it. Plain and simple. Okay. What do you think Black women deserve more of in rooms that make decisions, and why? Does that make sense? Like, what do we deserve more of when we're in rooms where, we are making decisions?
Man, that is a heavy question. And part of why I'm saying that is, one of the things that I talk about is the success tax. And a lot that comes in us having to navigate spaces, again, that weren't built for us, but we have to show up in it. And so a lot of that comes with that code switching. And that's just not only just talking about verbally, but also how we carry ourselves, how we wear our hair, the clothes we wear, things of that nature. It's the invisible emotional labor that we're carrying in these spaces. It's the not wanting to sound a certain way because there's so many stereotypes with regards to being a Black and brown person in certain spaces. And I understand it's twofold. So yes, the space needs to acknowledge that we are human beings first. We are allowed to be angry. Yes, as a woman, you are allowed to be angry and express your feelings, because from a clinical standpoint, when you don't express yourself, it shows up on the inside of your body, where your biological pathways, physiologically and biochemically, they're getting rewired. And things are starting to break down, and it's starting to shift in your body. And that's how it's showing up. Even if you're doing the things healthy and taking care of yourself, if it doesn't feel like anything is working, things are stuck in your body, not getting moved, and it's not getting recalibrated the way it's showing up. So I want the spaces to, again, hold us safely, because that's a part of it, the safety component as well, but also with grace and compassion, because again, regardless of the color of our skin, we are human beings at the end of the day. And then the other side of that is that we're understanding, well, individual wise, that if the space doesn't feel safe for you to operate optimally, where your nervous system is regulated so that you can get your body functioning the way it needs to throughout the entire day, we might need to talk about the space you're in, because it shouldn't be putting you in a space where your body feels like it needs to be considering fight or flight. It shouldn't. But it's happening because that's what's been ingrained in the system. That's what I would like to see be different. And that's why I said it's twofold, is the individuals understanding the capacity and the spaces that they're in, and also the space thing, so that we can feel safe, seen, heard, and respected and received regardless.
I absolutely love that. My next question is an interesting one for you. What's a challenge you have faced that people would never have guessed, and how did you move through that?
That's a really good one.
There's always something we've got. This is a sharing moment.
Yep. And I'm trying to think of, like, I think one of the biggest things for me was the way how I sound now and how I talk about things. I don't think they would have figured that I didn't use my voice before. Okay. I went through things growing up where and again, that's culture, we're taught you're seen, but you're not heard as a child.
Yeah. Typical Caribbean. Children must be seen and not heard. I was told that. Yeah.
Correct. Yep. So I learned quickly as a child, especially around adults, how to maneuver. And again, what child needed to be figuring that out any which way, to be figuring out how to maneuver among adults? So I learned not to use my voice, not to speak, not to talk. And I think that was the biggest shift for me, was if I don't speak about the things, and how is anybody going to know what's for me? How can anybody understand what it is that I'm saying is not okay? What's my boundaries? How do I get to be received? Period. I don't use my voice and talk about the things, even if it's uncomfortable for somebody else. It's my truth. Even if it causes them to feel disappointment, even if it causes them to feel like they're uncomfortable, whatever that is, it's still my truth. It's still my responsibility to use my voice. That was my biggest thing that I had to learn.
Yeah.
And so it was getting comfortable, being uncomfortable, because that's the path of growth, and understanding that that is required in all aspects of life, is that space of discomfort where you're like, okay, the fear is still there, but I can still do the things and it's okay.
Yeah, I think setting boundaries is really important as well. And it's funny, as talkative as I am now, growing up, I'm not the same child, the woman that I've become at all. I was shy, withdrawn.
Yep.
And it's funny, obviously, we both come from a Caribbean background. So it's interesting hearing this, because you're right. You start to learn how to navigate through adults and just do what is expected. And the self-talk is real. And I think you're right. As I got older, I definitely set boundaries. Yeah. And now it's like I had to learn how to use my voice, literally. And you're right, as a child. And then it's funny, I now hear like child psychologists say, to a 5-year-old, use your voice. We never had that. We were told not to use our voice. The complete opposite.
Yes.
Yeah. And it has a massive impact on it. And I think you're right. What you were saying about boundaries, you do have to create boundaries, because you've got to be able to protect your own self-talk, or you've got to learn yourself how to respond to setting boundaries by speaking up. So I completely resonate with that. If a brilliant Black woman is building her platform or business right now, what's the first move you would tell her to focus on from building your own business?
Oh, you got to include the wellness aspect with it. It's not just all business. You have to, it's not siloed or spread or something that you get to whenever you get to. It needs to be, it's integrated along the entire process, because being in entrepreneurship, it's not a linear trajectory. It is a roller coaster, literally. It's a roller coaster. And so you have to be able to navigate, knowing where you keep moving forward, where you may step back a little bit, may shift over to the left or to the right, whatever that is. But it needs to be integrated in the entire process, because again, if you keep pushing and trying to fit and do the things, the resistance is always like, you got to keep moving forward. Again, that hustle mentality, if you keep doing those things, like I mentioned earlier, that biochemistry, when you start getting your lab work and you're not understanding things, or you're feeling a certain way, but your lab work is like, everything looks fine, there's a disconnect, like you're not understanding stuff, it starts to show up. 20s and 30s are great. Like, you don't feel a lot of these things unless you really have a true like concern. But that stuff hits you when you get past 35, 40, it starts to hit different. So I would say, don't negate anything with regards to your wellness. It has to be integrated for sure.
Yeah, and you're right. It's funny. When I answered this question, I said pivoting, but you've got to be able to pivot in all areas of your life. But you're right. The underlying thing is looking after yourself. Like, even now, if I don't go for a walk every day, or I don't do something to exert myself, I can't explain it. It's like I can't think clearly. And the exercise, the food, if I'm eating loads of sugary things, it's that crash and burn. So you're not being as productive as you should be. But you've also got to learn how to pivot in all areas of business and life, being an entrepreneur. That's what you was talking about in the beginning. It's not just the business. You've got to be able to figure out, like, change things, react to things. It's just a constant stream of pivoting is what I like to call it.
Yeah.
Okay, so next I want to ask you is, what is the biggest misconception people have about success at your level? Like, you are very well educated. You're very well educated. You've got a lot of proof of work. You've built out a whole system of wellness. Like, what's the biggest misconception that people have about your success?
I would include myself in this, as the misconception in just success in general is that it's like it's one and done. It's like, yep, I did it, I achieved it, I got it. It's like, no. It is not a one and done thing. And I know some of that is, again, that learned conditioning from society and culture of like, achievement is like, you reach this pinnacle and that's it. Then you're like, okay, what's next? It's a process of constant pivoting, like you just talked about. you've reached a certain space, you've gotten something, but it's like, well, how can I do this even better? How can I make this even simpler? How can I make this be more streamlined? How can I get someone to understand this and receive this in a way where they can receive it? It's that continual process of what could be better. Or if it's already great, celebrating that it's already great and allowing that to be what it is as well. So it's that journey of, okay, yep, do the things, achieve the things, see the results, get the data, or even the mistakes, because I think that's all a part of it as well.
Yeah, I call it
Not
failing
just
your way
always
to
the great
success.
stuff, it's the
Mistakes are
things
key.
that didn't work out. Yes, absolutely. And learning from it. It's not always a bad thing. It's actually information. And it's the same thing I say in wellness. Those pains, those stuff, that's information. It's uncomfortable, but it's telling you something, and are you listening? Are you understanding? What are you getting from it? And that's what I say. I think that's what success is. It's all of that. And that's why I said it's, to me too, it's a reminder, because I learned it was just like, yep, you got the A+, you're good. And it's like, no, it's not just about the A+. It's the other things that come with it as well, that don't always feel well, but it's a part of that journey of what could you do better, be better, and not just for yourself, but also who's coming into your space as well.
Yeah. And also celebrating successes. I think as Black women, we can home in more on the not so good things that happen and not really take the time out to say, actually, well done you, or look in the mirror and say, I'm proud of you, or who you've become. We don't really recognize ourselves like, yeah, got the A+, got that done, tick, let me move on. And just having that moment to be able to check in and just say well done to yourself, and like pause and have a little bit of a, celebratory moment. Because when the bad things happen, we ponder in them for a while. When the good things happen, they kind of they flash before your eyes almost. So yeah, I love that. So Danielle, your keynote is a part of the top 100 most powerful Black women summit. What do you want every listener to walk away with after they hear your keynote?
Oh, that the biggest thing is you can't continue to function off of the things that are depleting you. You can't. And they're depleting you for a reason. I know we talk about burnout. Burnout is a big word that we're hearing a lot of. On a physiological level, it is depletion. And you can't continue to function in that and expect success to thrive in that space, because it's a debt that is being collected, unfortunately, collected through the health and strength of your body long term. So it may not hit you now, but it may hit you later. And I'll add this, it's also going to be affecting, if you have children or do have children, it'll be in their DNA. It's being passed on. So you can't function off of depletion. Success needs recalibration and optimization as often as possible. It should be a regular component in whatever it is that you're doing. You have to recalibrate and optimize on a regular basis, because life changes, and you want to be able to not only model that for yourself, but also for the women that are surrounding you. That change and what success can look like when you actually make wellness be a part of it.
Oh, absolutely love that. Ladies, make sure that you click the QR code above me. You get your tickets. Danielle's keynote, Danielle spoke in our October summit, and it really was off the hook. She gave away so much tips, advice. You will leave feeling educated. You're going to leave having a much more better understanding of who you are internally, and how you're going to move forward, and whether you're going to move forward with her as well. She runs an absolutely exceptional program. So make sure that you check her out in the up and coming summit. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. So Danielle, as we wrap up, I'm going to do a quick fire round. So I'm going to say a sentence and then I want you to finish it. Okay, so here we go. And just so you know, ladies, Danielle, none of the speakers know what these questions is. They haven't been prepped, by the way. So you're getting real authenticity and vulnerability here. Okay, so first sentence: my power increases when I...
Ooh. My power increases when I understand the layers of stress that are affecting me within my body, and I recalibrate and adjust what it is for me so I can work optimally and be successful regardless.
Love it. Next one. One belief Black women must release to rise faster is?
One belief Black women must release to rise faster is wellness is not a part of my success.
Love it. Love it. Last one. Love it. One thing I want Black women to remember about their voice is?
Ooh. One thing I want Black women to remember about their voice is it is the epitome of everything for whatever it is that they're wanting and desiring for themselves in this life and in any other aspect with regards to the future. It is the epitome of everything for you. If you don't use it, you will actually lose it. And again, it will show up
I
in
like
your
that
body,
one. If
and
you
we
don't
want
use
that.
it, you will lose it. I absolutely like that one. I'm going to be taking that one. Danielle, it's been absolutely amazing having you here with me today. Please do tell the audience like where they can find you and what's coming up next for you in your business.
Oh, so good question. But you can find me on, of course, the World Wide Web, via my website at noyanworldwide.com. And you could also find me on social media. I am working on expanding into more social media platforms, thanks to my training from Natalia. So I'm working on that. But you can find me on IG and Facebook right now, but I'm expanding to YouTube, TikTok, the other spaces with more video content. That's where I'm working towards. So you'll be able to find me on other platforms. But right now, Instagram and IG. Instagram is IG and Facebook. Programs I'm working on is starting for 2026. I am creating membership community as well, which will have monthly classes. In addition to that, doing a group cohort programs and one-on-one intensives for persons who really say, you know what, I'm ready to commit for the change and are ready to invest the time in that one-on-one intensive program. So those are the three things that I'm working on for 2026.
Brilliant. Absolutely love it. Well, Danielle, it's been a pleasure having you here today. I can't wait for us to be hooking up at the summit again. This year's even bigger, by the way. Oh my gosh, Danielle, I haven't told you. I'm going to tell you live on air. So we've got a media partner. See, Danielle is from the Caribbean, so she'll get this more than some others wouldn't. But Irie Jam FM is our media partner. So that means that this year, rather than me sitting here in my lounge, I'm going to be in a podcast studio with 5 other women, and we've got a whole panel, and literally we're going to be hosting the whole 5 days. So as a keynote, when you come on, you're going to be coming on live, streaming on air with 5 other co-hosts with me in New York. Will be at their podcast studio, and they're also going to be plugging the summit and giving us airtime. So as I know from one Caribbean sister to another, you know Irie Jam.
Yes. That is awesome. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Listen, yes.
So we're ramping this up. We're making it bigger and bigger. So again, anybody, if you haven't got a ticket, make sure you get a ticket, and also make sure that you share it. This is a table that we're building out for all Black females. Okay, it's important for you to come. There's a massive array of speakers here, and it just means exactly what Danielle said. Let's start building our own table. So make sure that you share, make sure that you come, and again, just make sure that you tune into Danielle's keynote. Danielle, thank you so much, and no doubt we will see each other at the summit. Take care.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Bye, everyone.